I think I liked this movie more before I started writing this review. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another one of my movie reviews. Today we are talking about A24's new horror movie, Talk to Me. When a group of friends discovers how to conjure spirits by using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. I have to tell you, I was not impressed. And I really don't get the hype that the movie's been getting. And I'm not being a hater and I'm not being contrarian, I promise. I actually left the theater really liking the movie, and then the more I thought about it, the more I think I dislike the movie. Before I begin, you have my official spoiler warning. I don't think I can talk about this movie without giving away the major details that happened. So let's start off with the things I liked, because there are some good things about this movie. First, the concept of how the possession works is original, and I really liked it, because usually when possession happens in movies, it's unwanted, etc. But in this movie, they portray it as if it's like a recreational drug and that you get a high from letting spirits into your body. I also thought Sophie Wilde, who played Mia, did a really good job in the movie. I think she was the standout actress, especially when she was playing the parts when she was getting possessed. She did a really good job doing those. Also, Joe Bird, who plays Riley, the little brother, does a really good job with the horror parts of the movie. His scenes were definitely the most brutal, the most bloody, and probably the scariest parts of the movie. When he was trying to claw his eye out, I actually had to look away because I'm just like really sensitive with eye gore. And then also later when he hit his head on the wall and when his blood was on the floor and he was trying to lick it up, that was really creepy. And also later when Mia was at the hospital and saw the little ghost girl, and the ghost girl let her into her world, and then she saw Riley in hell essentially getting tortured by other spirits. That was one of the best visuals in the whole movie. Also, the movie was like really unintentionally hilarious, especially the parts where Mia was sucking Daniel's toes and then Daniel was also making out with the dog. This is like very weird, uncomfortable A24 style horror, and it reminded me of scenes from like Men and Midsommar. So I don't think they were trying to be funny, but my entire theater was laughing. And overall, the movie was pretty unexpected and I couldn't tell where the plot was going exactly. Alright, here are the parts that I didn't like. And again, these are just my opinions, so no need to get all worked up in the comments. So the second half of the movie just became some regular old possession horror. So that's where it was really disappointing to me, because the concept is so strong by using possession as a drug. The second half, it was just like any other possession movie we've seen a billion times. It Follows, Smile, Invisible Man, and even Hereditary all has scenes where people get possessed and one person can see things that other people can't, and it just like leads to more confusion and more horror. We've seen that a million times. But then the difference is that this movie wasn't even as horrifying as some of those other movies. And I'm not saying that we need more gore and blood and violence. Like if we take Hereditary, which is I think the best A24 horror movie, it does a lot of great horror without having to be violent. And I think this movie was missing out on a lot of those crucial moments. And the scary spirits or whatever, it was just a lot of like old people with decaying flesh. And I think a lot of times in horror movies, people like to use old people as like something scary. And I think that's kind of a cop-out. Like, maybe create something more original than that. And then let's talk about Mia's character. To me, Mia was not likable at all. Like, as soon as she let Riley take the hand, I was like, you're done for. Like, I cannot root for you for the rest of the movie. Like, she had no right to give permission to Riley to essentially take this like very powerful drug that is possession. And then later she was still trying to kind of hit on her best friend's boyfriend, and I'm like, how are we supposed to root for Mia? And I understand like she's going through grief of her mother, and even that part wasn't done very well because we didn't get to see a lot of parts with her mother. So I didn't have any emotional attachment to Mia or her mother or her grief at all. Also, this is the crazy part of a horror movie. Basically no one died except for Mia and the guy at the beginning, because Riley survived and Mia's dad survived also. And so when all of the teenagers were at the house, I was like, there's for sure some of them are gonna die, but none of them die. In fact, the second half of the movie, they were all MIA. You see what I did there? Like, those characters were only there to set up this hand and explained the loose rules, and then they were just gone for the rest of the movie. Like, they just seemed like such a waste of time. Also, there was a part where the friends try to find the guy that they got the hand from. Oh yeah, like, this is the backstory of the hand, but we're not actually gonna get into it, so let's forget about it. Also, there's this overall theme of the kangaroo who is suffering, and Mia's dilemma if she should just walk away or end one suffering. So then this comes to play when she's at the hospital and she is going to kill Riley, but then she doesn't. And then what doesn't make sense is that if she wasn't going to kill Riley, then why did she change locations to be at the highway and then try to kill him again, but then still ends up not killing him again? So it feels like we went through that same dilemma like twice, but we just changed locations from the hospital to the highway. Also, the rules of the hand itself were so loosey-goosey. Like at first you had to say talk to me, and then you had to say let me in, but then in the later half we find out you don't have to let them in to speak to them. In fact, the ghost can let you in, and essentially you possess the ghost to see their point of view. And also they talk about blowing out the candle if it's part of the ritual or something, but then they didn't even know what was going on, so we don't even know what's going on with the candle, if that's even important at all. Also, it was so stupid that Mia tried to get Riley to talk to the hand when he was unconscious at the hospital and he couldn't say talk to me. Also, what's up with the 90-second rule? How did they even find out it's a 90-second timer? And then why was it less time for Riley to get possessed? Like, how do they know these rules? If you're gonna come up with the rules, they should be strict rules so that the audience can follow it as well. Also, do spirits just leave your body after a certain amount of time? Because someone was like, yeah, just let Riley stay in the hospital because then the spirits will weaken and they'll eventually leave. Is that what happens? We don't know because it doesn't explain it. So here are some things that I wish for the movie. I think it could have used 30 more minutes. And I know people are like, oh, you're Gen Z, you have no attention span, blah, blah, blah. But I actually think this movie could have used 30 more minutes. Whether that is to show Mia losing her mind even more, becoming completely possessed, or we just spend more time seeing the other teenagers maybe get a few more deaths, maybe explore the mystery of how Mia's mother actually died. I also think if we went into a different direction, similar to what Bodies, Bodies, Bodies did, where they stayed in the house the whole time because they were having like this party element, I thought that's what it was going to be, because then the concept of using possession as a drug could have been explored much more if they were having a party for the whole time. Like, obviously then it would just take the movie in a completely direction, but I do think they should have taken their concept and ran with it the whole time. So people are saying, you know, this is the best horror movie of the year, and I don't know if I can say that for sure, because also the horror movies this year have not been great. Overall, I give this movie a 6.5. I was definitely still entertained. Again, I left the theater enjoying it and I liked it. Just the more time I had to sit on it, the more I realized it might not be that good. So what did you guys think about the movie? Have you watched it? Do you think it's the best horror movie of the year? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you want to see more of my content, then make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.